Question is that this House has considered Project Gigabit and community-led internet service providers. With permission, Dr. Neil Hudson.
Thank you, Dame Angela. It's a privilege to serve under your chairship. I congratulate the Honourable Member for Westmoreland and Lonsdale for securing this debate. We are neighbouring MPs and we share very many similar issues, so I very much welcome this debate. What I do not welcome, however, is the Honourable Member and his party colleagues starting to put out literature in my constituency, including pieces and photos by the Honourable Member. Can I remind the Honourable Member we share the same issues, but we do not share the same constituency. Now, rural connectivity is a huge issue for Penrith and the Border and for rural Cumbria, and it has been brought into sharp relief during this pandemic. 4G coverage in the northwest is around 73%. We know that needs to be improved. And my constituency of Penrith and the Border has some of the hardest to reach areas in the whole of the United Kingdom. 11.6% of households have less than 10 megabytes per second speed. But I very much welcome that this government is prioritising Cumbria in the rollout of the Gigabit programme and with the shared rural network. The £5 billion funding is welcome for the United Kingdom, and I will keep banging the drum for Cumbria to be at the front of the queue for that. And the shared rural network is very important, the £5 billion shared rural network. We know that sometimes the fibre will not get to every household, so we need to extend 4G coverage to get to some of the hardest to reach areas, and I welcome that that is happening in Cumbria as well. So the forecast of 4G coverage of 73% will go to 88% with the shared rural network, which I welcome. I also welcome joint funding initiatives across government in terms of the Borderlands programme that has earmarked approximately £28 million for the 4 gigabyte programme. So I had the great pleasure of welcoming the Honourable Member for Westmoreland referred to this, the previous Digital Minister, to my constituency, to Malastang near Kirby Stephen, to see the great work of Barn in terms of connecting households, and we had the pleasure of actually connecting up one of the households ourselves. I am working closely with parish councils, service providers like Barn, BD UK, the Culture, Media and Support Department, and Connecting Cumbria. I believe we need to work together to secure these deliveries for our hard-to-reach communities. Now, I very much recognise the anxiety that communities are feeling with this procurement process and the voucher scheme now, and I share the Honourable Member for Westmoreland's concerns with that. Very much, I make a plea to the new Minister to not let this procurement exercise cause anxiety for these communities, to allow the people who have worked closely with providers like Barn to keep the exercise going so that we can get continuity, so these community projects can actually be delivered. There are many, many schemes across Cumbria which are almost over the halfway line and they need just a bit of extra time and a bit of government support. So I make the plea to allow the voucher application system to remain open during the procurement process. It's important that we allow communities to continue to work with providers like Barn so that some communities can be moved to the deferred procurement scope. And then we will not pause the process for these households and communities that are desperate to get connected. So we can then stop the mad dash to get over the halfway line and give communities and providers time to get people connected. So I make a plea also after the procurement process for the providers to work together. There is plenty of rural United Kingdom and rural Cumbria to go around, and we want people to work together sensibly so that households are not left out. So I make a plea for everyone to work together. I also make a plea to opposition politicians. Let's all work together. Let's not play political football with this. We can work together. Central government, local government, communities pulling together. We all want the same thing. We all want better broadband. We all want better connectivity. We've got much more chance if we all work together with the government to actually secure this aim. Thank you.
Minister Julia Lopez.
Thank you, Dame Angela. It's a pleasure